Alright, so I woke up to some crazy news. In classic Type Moon fashion, they are now making their rounds to dunk on everybody for New Year's. And one of these things is the trailer for the release of Fate Strange Fate. Now you guys know we were supposed to get Strange Fate today. There was a delay, and now they're saying it's going to come out in the middle of 2023. Who's going to wait that long? Me, of course. Now, if you weren't aware, Fate Strange Fate clears everything. You understand me? This is not a joke. This is not a drill. This is not exaggeration. When it comes to consistency in terms of story, in terms of characters, in terms of fights, servant master relationships, build up, Strange Fate has it all. I'd argue that it's everything that Fate Apocrypha was supposed to be. And I like Fate Apocrypha, but it's not this. If anything goes wrong, just know that it's the adaptation. It's not the novel, it's not the manga. I can guarantee you that. It's being produced by A1 Pictures. The trailer looks great so far. The music in the second half really caught me by surprise, but it actually fits the tone of everything that's going on. You got the summoning of Gil, and Tine coming in and straight up taking Gil from his original master, cooking him alive and turning him into some baby back ribs. And another thing that I noticed when his master was getting fried, and this goes back to the Jester thing I was talking about, for somebody that's viewed as a person that only seeks entertainment in the plight of humanity, Gil is poker face. If anything, he's looking like, man, that guy must have really sucked. Put everything he had into summoning Gil just to have it snatched out the palm of his hands, then have his life taken on top of that. What a way to go out. Another thing that was hilarious is when Gil threw the key. He was like, I don't need this. If you know, you know. He looked crazy throwing that key on the ground. Bunch of quick cameos going on. Specifically, you know, you got the one from Flat. Now that he has an actual servant in the war, this is yet another place where he got more development. His servant is the real Jack the Ripper. It's my favorite version of him. I would say it's a more accurate version as a concept, at least. Really love that. You got my girl No Face. Come on, man. No face, no case. What do you mean? And you can see her quickly use the cursed arm towards the end of the clip. We've done content on her. Extremely powerful. Everybody is broken, by the way. Basically, everybody's broken, so nobody's broken. You got the dead Apostle Jester going wild. If you've seen my vid on Hansa, you know how ridiculous he can get. Can't wait for that, although that's going to be a long way out. But even just him showing up at the very beginning is going to be fire if we can get a little sneak peek. As far as I know, it's still a special, so it's probably only going to be an hour long. You know, they've done this before. There's a bunch of Type Moon projects that have hour-long pilots, and then they might come back around and continue the show. I'm hoping that that's the case because they haven't confirmed a complete show yet. It's still a special, but I'm hoping that they'll do the hour-long just to get the ball rolling, and then they'll keep it going, because I just can't see why they would tease everybody like this if they weren't gonna go all the way. It's been too long. People have been waiting on this for years. I remember the first time I looked up Strange Fate, it was probably like 15. It's about what you would expect from the wait time of any Fate project. You know, the same way people had to wait for Heaven's Feel, the same way people had to wait for the remake of UB-Dub, the same way people waited a lifetime for Tsukihime. It just comes with the territory. You got Alexandre Dumas, who is the same person that wrote The Count of Monte Cristo as a servant, the same person that wrote Edmond Dantes. Yes, he's in Strange Fate. He is the servant of Officer Reeve, and Officer Reeves is the one ahead of the Clan Caladan police force. And then we got the main event, and I'm really glad that they showed this early, Enkidu versus Gilgamesh. Let's go. You can see him taking flight in the trailer. Yes, he knows how to fly. Both him and Enkidu can fly. He just happened to forget that in Stay Night because the story needed him to. But this isn't Stay Night anymore, young blood. It's time to show you the real. Just beautiful. And I'm really glad that they did this, so this can finally silence the people that be lowballing my boy Gil. You can literally see their moves peeking out the side of Earth just to show you the actual scale of their fight. It's serious. For all the people that was out here like, well, that doesn't mean he can actually do that. That's just embellishment. When I said that he can dislocate space with Aya, you literally see him fracturing space visually in the trailer. It's literally breaking apart in the trailer. tornadoes all around him. Stop playing with his body. There's a few more characters that's supposed to show up. You know, I just put y'all on Alcides, which is Hurt. He didn't make the trailer, but you already know that that's about to come. There's another character that links back to an older work that we got to talk about. He's a focal point to the story. There's so much going on, and the crazy thing about it is that the trailer shows so little of it. And going back to what I said before, you can already see that Gil and Enkidu are fighting at the beginning of the story. This is one of the biggest fights in the franchise, two of the highest characters in the franchise, and it happens at the beginning of the story. So you already know how the rest of Strange Fate is coming. Enkidu literally becoming one with the planet and lifting himself into the sky. Enuma meets Enuma. You got Francesca Prelati, who is also Francis Prelati, the one that was cool with Gilles de Rais, and is also the person that gave Gilles de Rais his spell book. We can have a whole list for how many callbacks there are. Richard the Lionheart. Ayaka, his master, she goes back to Fate Prototype. And guess what? You got people already saying that the animation isn't good enough. My goodness, can you let the show come out first? The only people I want to hear complaints from are whales, because they're the ones that single-handedly funding this, in case you couldn't already tell. It's people like that that make Nasu real cautious on hitting the green light on certain projects. Now granted, he isn't the one that wrote it, but he is the one that supervised it. He still has the overall authority. I remember an interview that he had when Heaven's Feel came out, and he was talking about this very thing. He says, I fundamentally distrust visual media. The only reason I started writing in the first place is because I have no talent for drawing. And without any talent for drawing, I can't help but rely on my words. And he basically went on about how he's real sensitive about his work. How it's very easy for everything to fall apart once it becomes the anime, because he comes in, he sets up the drafts like this, and then the studio does something completely different, out of his control. Audience takes it the wrong way, and now you got people that'll never look up the source running around giving out the wrong idea. And he goes on to mention how he's thankful that that's not what happened to Heaven's Feel, and it turned out great. I think people are real spoiled by Ufotable, me included. They're definitely my favorite when it comes to handling Type Moon works, and they've seen how good Ufotable can be, so they really don't want anybody else to handle Type Moon's work. MiHoYo is the most recent thing, and that's Ufotable. But A1 Pictures, they made Your Lie in April, they made Fate Apocrypha, Seven Deadly Sins, so at least we know they are capable of doing good work. And with a big name like Fate behind it, I highly doubt they're gonna stiff on production. You might bring up the visuals, but that's not the only thing that matters. Pacing matters, directing matters. Even Babylonia, which was done by Cloverworks, that surprisingly turned out really good. So you never know. If you're not following the Twitter, first of all, you need to get your life together. Second of all, New Year's resolution, we're doing 200 uploads next year, and we're doing more scuff content, because dudes are trying to play with me like I'm not really the one. It's up.